Yes. Welcome back to the channel, everyone. So, I've been gone for a little while. It's been mad. It's been mad hard to do any type of filming. Finding the time, the space, the time. It's so mad. But anyway, I've got a little update with you. So it was a small update for you about the VR6't engine that I've been slowly building in the background, slowly building. The reason why I've been so slow building this is because in the first place, when I was slowly putting this thing together, when I was actually finding the engine and that, I didn't know what I wanted to put in. So I wasn't sure if I was going to put in the Mark 5, Mark 6, whatever, Mark 7, flipping the Mark 3 VR6. And then I said, I'm going to put in a Mark 3 VR6. And I tried to find the Mark 3 VR6. I actually found the Mark 3 VR6. And it was the guy was just, he wasn't replying to none of my messages, so we were up for sale, and then there's no reply for months and months. And then I came across another car, which is going to reveal to you another time. So this was supposed to go in that, but after doing some research in that and actually checking myself and actually seeing myself, this has been it's actually, it won't fit into the new car that I've got. It's just going to be an absolute headache, even with brackets. So this is my kind of like my mistake. I should have done a furthermore research, because I didn't know that the OBD1 and OBD2 VR6 has got different mounting positions where the engine mounts up. So this mounts up on the back, it's OBD1, OBD2 mounts up on the side here. I'll show you the side. So I can really only put this in a Mark 3 VR6, a Mark 3. I can put in a Mark 2 with brackets if you get the right brackets and accessories for it. I can put in a Corrado, and that's the only car that it will straight fit into. So I'm really limited with this build here. Okay, that's my problem. Let me run you through everything that's been done on this. So basically, I wasn't sure the history on this. So I decided to just kind of renew everything. So what I've done on the block is it's been cleaned, but before that, I've had the block honed and skimmed. And I redone the piston rings. I also put Eagle rods in there with ARP rod bolts. Also with racing bearings from King Racing and ACL. So they're the performance bearings. So that's in the block. Also got a 3mm spacer one because nothing helps to lower the compression. So that's to lower the compression. Then I've got the cheap accessories. So at the moment I've got the cheap turbo, which is this is kind of like just like a mock-up at the moment. This is the inlet I'm going to be using. It's a cheap inlet, cheap fuel rail. So it's just basically showing that how you can do this kind of like on a cheap. If you had your engine, so you already had your engine which you already trust and it's already in your VR6 or your R32, you can basically just put a head spacer on it and kind of send it. But I would recommend kind of checking the engine out first, kind of doing a compression test and a leak down test, just to see where your engine is at, and then taking everything from there. But this has been done, the block's been done, the head's been done. What I've done with the head, I put Supertech springs in there so it can hold the revs. I put some cams in there, some Autotech 262 street cams. Redone the surface on the head, ported and polished the head and both sides, the intake and the exhaust side. So I wanted to look a little bit sexy. So I got this 90 degrees. Adapter to make the turbo sit up here. I don't know how it's going to fit in whatever car that I'm going to put in, so maybe like a Mark 3 VR6. So basically what I'm going to do, because it's kind of like a cheap version. This is a cheap version. It's the ideal kind of style I want. So it's kind of like a mock-up, ideal style that I want. But I want it to sit literally about an inch more forward. So I'm going to remake this. And also I'm going to get rid of these flanges. This is an adapter going from a T4 to a T3. and the T3 at the top isn't, the T4 at the bottom is not a problem, but flowing into the T3, this is not the right flange, so it would have to be like a better, more quality flange, so the flow is more better. So that's how, this is basically how I want it to look. Don't worry about the Jordan logo. I was kind of putting there just to kind of make it look, just because it's the same color, so I was kind of just playing about with stuff. But this is basically how I want it to kind of look in the engine bay. Don't know how I'm going to orientate this, if I'm going to have this facing downwards or facing this way, so you're going to have to see this once it's in the car. I got the Turbo Smart. The reason why I got this Turbo Smart is because it's a lot smaller than the competitive ones like the Precision or the Tile. It's a lot smaller, so I don't know the space that I'm going to have in here, because I've got the downpipe coming down here as well. I think I needed this. I feel like I needed this a lot smaller. So, and I don't know how I'm going to have it, if it's going to be plumbed into the exhaust or it's going to be as a screamer pipe, so I'm not sure about all that yet. But as it goes, this is how it's going to be. The setup, cheap fuel rail, which I made the brackets for. Just cut like I had an L bracket, which I cut both sides, and I got some tubing, some aluminium tubing, which I had for my airlift. I cut it, cut down to size. So you basically, what you do is you lengthen these or shorten these or make them longer to the style injectors that you're using. So if these are 60mm injectors, they're the same size as the Bosch 1700cc that I'm using in my R32. So I think I'm going to use the same injectors in these, and it's the same size as these. So basically when I get those injectors, I'm just going to swap them out. It should be a exact same fit. But if you've got smaller injectors, you're going to have to shorten this rod. So just cut it down to the correct size. But first of all, you're going to have to put the injectors in first and then measure the gap, the distance between there. So that's that. And as I was talking about the OBD1 and OBD2, was the OBD1 is like this, basically. The OBD1 is like this, is nothing here. The mounting brackets, how you mount it, is on the back here. How you mount it is on the back here. So this is where you mount the engine from on the OBD1. And on the OBD2, the bolts are around here, which is the same as the Mark 5, or if he's putting it in an S3, it would be ideal for you to just put this in. So if I wanted to use this engine in a Mark 5 or Mark 6 or Mark 4 or S3, I would have to get the OBD2, which has got the brackets to mount the engine here. And that's the problem that I got. So I'm really, really limited with this block here. I'm really, really limited with this block. But this is basically the finished mock-up. I'm not going to be using this turbo. I'm mostly going to be using either a Pulsar GTX 35 82, one of those, something along those lines, or Precision 62 66, or 62 62, or something along those lines. Something along those lines of turbo wise. But this is basically done right. This is basically done at the moment. And that is basically the update of the VR6 turbo build. So this is the latest update. I'm gonna update you with the car that I've got at the moment. So, and then I'm gonna take things kind of from there. Also, I'm gonna do a video on how to build a show car. How to build a show car. So the things you're gonna be basically looking out for and kind of aiming for if you're aiming to build a show car. So stay tuned for that. Thanks for watching. For the guys that still here around, thank you very much. I appreciate you. Big time, big time. If you haven't subscribed, subscribe. Yeah, subscribe, man. Subscribe. Help me boy out. Subscribe. Everything will be boom. I'm gonna make some more content. I'm trying to make some more content anyway. So, yeah, man. Stay tuned, and I'll be back. Peace.